Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Advancement Center, and welcome to the amazing world of magic and miracles. That world is everywhere, and the magic continues to be delivered from everywhere, and miracles appear every second of every day, somewhere, if not in your life where you can see it, it's happening behind the scenes. And of course, there's those moments when it's shared with you from someone else's life, or you experience it directly. And welcome to the world of your creator. That world that you always are a part of, that sort of takes you out of this physical dimension as your primary dimension or reality and rockets you to the feeling of being with your creator, who has nothing but smiles for you. That world is filled with perfection, and that perfection is characterized with balance, a little bit of mischief, a little bit of seriousness, lots of laughter, lots of wisdom. And so we smile and laugh as we sit right with our creator. Some things in life are bad. They can really make you mad. Other things just make you swear and curse. When you're chewing on life's gristle, don't grumble, give a whistle. And this will help things turn out for the best. And always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the light side of life. If life seems jolly rotten, there's something you've forgotten, and that's to laugh and smile and dance and sing. When you're feeling in the dumps, don't be silly chumps. Just purse your lips and whistle. That's the thing. And always look on the bright side of life. Come on. Always look on the right side of life. For life is quite absurd, and death's the final word. You must always face the curtain with a bow. Forget about your sin, give the audience a grin. Enjoy it, it's your last chance anyhow. So always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the bright side of death. Just before you draw your terminal breath, when you look at it, life's a laugh and death's a joke. It's true. You'll see it's all a show. Keep 'em laughing as you go. Just remember that the laugh lasts. Laugh is on you. Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the right side of life. Always look on the bright side of life. I mean, what have you got to lose? You know, you come from nothing. You're going back to nothing. What have you lost? Nothing. Always look on the right side of life. Nothing will come from nothing. Y'all know what they say. Cheer up, you old bugger. Come on, give us a grin. Always look on the right side of life. There you are. See, it's the end of the film. Incidentally, This record's available in the foyer. Always look on the right side of life. Some of us got to live, you know? Always look on the right side of life. Who do you think pays for all this rubbish? Always look on the right side of life. This is called Snowflakes. We all receive uniquely from the same words. One sees roses and daisies, and another sees a fruit tree. It's amazing that with 8 billion people, no two receive the same thing from the same transmission. So you cannot assume that someone or anyone will feel what you felt when you heard a song or watched a movie or listened to someone speak or read words from the same book that you read. And that's the good news. Otherwise, life would be pretty boring. 8 billion aspects of source, 8 billion unique and individual responses. There may be some similarities in what is received, but like snowflakes, no two are ever exactly the same. This is why you can never try and convince anyone of anything, and why you can't have expectations that they will see what you see and go where you have gone from what you've received. No one has to hear exactly what you heard to come to their own new state of awareness. It can work that way, but oftentimes it will be the exact opposite of what happened for you. So we just send these messages out into the field like snowflakes and let them land where they land without expectation other than to deliver them into the field. You got this. Pain steals your focus, but so does every thought that you encounter in your human life. All of these thoughts and sensory feelings are queued up one behind the next, the order being solely dependent on your circumstances or what's happening in your life, causing you to turn your attention to their existence in your world. We have the amazing ability to reroute these thoughts through our system of multitasking, as well as the power of our resilience. But the greatest gift that goes mostly unnoticed and therefore unconsciously unused is our power and ability to change our current state of being, to change our state of pain, our state of mind, our state of belief, and thus change the world. We make these changes all the time unconsciously. A thought comes in or pain arises, and we, without awareness, transmute its effect, and it goes away so innocently that we don't notice that it is gone until hours, days, and sometimes weeks later. We say, hey, my tooth is not hurting. My worry about that thing is gone. I didn't even notice that the pain or the worried thinking had left. Some things are more intense and require your conscious attention and intention in changing their existence in your world. Each of us have developed our own unique set of skills to do this very thing, but depending on the level of intensity, doubt may want to creep in. Know that you have and have always had the ability to heal yourself, and so has your body. And when you use the power that you have to tell it how to behave, it must respond. Remember, everything comes into your life in some way, shape, or form to help you grow and to show you how amazing you are, even unto your last dying breath. You will discover that in the acknowledgement of your ability to heal yourself, that you can also heal others, and that the things you are healing in yourself may also be healing the same disturbance within the human entity. Once again, allowing you to see how amazing you are. The end of fear. the end of fear in your world. No one can live in your world. They can visit or imagine what it's like to live in your world, but they cannot live in your world. They have their own world to live in, the world that they have created, just as you live in the world that you have created. Someone may suggest from their world that you do something the way they see it being done, and that is fine because there can always be more efficient ways of doing things. But you cannot do it to be like them or be approved by them, and you can't ever do it exactly as they do it. In order to be exactly like them, you must give up a part of you. And that's no good because we need you. We already have one of them. No matter what world you have chosen to live in, my desire for everyone is that they eliminate all fear from their beautifully created world. The fear in our world is like that old dark furniture in your grandparents' house, or that furniture covered with plastic that screams out, don't get me dirty, and live your life in fear of me getting dirty by being prepared for the inevitable arrival of said dirt. In the world that does not include fear, there is an airy, breezy feeling that allows the flow of magic and miracles to move through freely without the heaviness of fear. Many people in the spiritual community have spoken and continue to speak of cataclysmic events appearing in advance of the arrival of a beautiful new world. When people share those things with me, I say or transmit by not saying anything that those things do not exist in my world. But I know it is a possibility because all things are possible. So maybe it will happen in their world, the world that they have created. Many of those people are saying that we should have a 3-month supply of water and non-perishables on hand in preparation for these events. And if this reality is a part of your world, you probably should, for it will more likely than not happen in your world because you have accepted that it can happen in your world. Of course, if you receive this information from someone you trust completely, then your response will certainly reflect that. But even then, it's better to take the information and keep it outside of your world so that you can change what may be coming, because you cannot change something when you are under its influence. Many of these warnings of catastrophes can be easily misinterpreted by those receiving the warnings. There's so much going on behind the reality that is being passed on through these warnings. Many times things happen and no one knows because they are happening in another dimension. So when there is a prediction of 5 days of darkness and the power going off, it could mean 5 days of darkness within us and our own power being turned off because we have accepted something into our world that was related to fear. It's a very subtle awareness. The reality of having fear govern part of your world versus a desire to know that does not come from fear. The signal that does not come from fear and that is informing us to prepare and not to be naive to the reality of something that exists with the purpose and desire to hurt us is a good signal. The signal that is being generated from fear is making us captive of fear. Think of the story in the Bible, the story of the Passover, when the Israelites saw that the spirit of death would come through their community and take the firstborn child within every household. And so they were told to kill the lamb that was pure and without blemish and take the blood and put a sign over their house. And in the story, the spirit of death passed over the Israelites' houses and killed the firstborn of all the Egyptian families. It's a story, but there's always some truth in every story. It is possible that it was the reverse, that those that put the mark above their door were in fear and under the influence of that power, and so it was them who brought that reality into their world. and that those that did not know that this was coming and made no preparations and were never in fear of it, and so it passed them by. Both ways could be true. And we can easily see examples like this in our current day, in our current life. In the end, we must follow our spirit, for one may be given to put a mark over the doorway, and another may be given not to put a mark over the doorway, and both may be passed over. But it is the fear of it happening that is not connected to your signal from your spirit. And if the motivation is fear, what you fear will certainly, in that moment, come into your world. For fear is simply a doorway to deliver what you believe will happen to come into existence in your world. Just like magic and miracles is a doorway for what you desire to happen to come into existence in your world. Fear only exists where there is matter, where there is a material world, because the overarching fear that governs the material world is the death of your material body, as well as the death of the material body of those you love and care about, and the loss of material things that you rely on to live in this material world. In the world of spirit, this death does not exist. Therefore, neither does fear. So as long as you connect with the physical incarnation of yourself as your primary reality, fear will have an entrance into your world. I don't think you can go through a day as a human being without hearing about someone's fear, whether it's fear of death, fear of a loss of a relationship, of a job, of our mental faculties. So we are constantly being introduced to that fear within our world, and we must constantly overcome it from inside of us and just as often from outside of us. This puts us in that fight or flight energy, and we are not able to truly rest. But if you can just step to the right, one step into the world of your Creator, into the world that has always been here, you will find that fear does not exist. Even in the midst of your greatest suffering, the suffering and pain of your own body or your friends and loved ones, you will no longer fear, for you will be in a world that is outside of this physical dimension. See the bigger picture of everything, most notably that your body is not you. And then when you're not under fear, you can change it, and you can get a new body if it doesn't behave itself. It's very easy to listen to these messages of the storm that will arrive before the calm of the new world, but be careful that you're not ingesting a dose of fear. You must be well rooted in your spirit and your existence as a spirit to listen objectively and observe, but not take it in. Also, being very careful to not pass on the information to someone who may be vulnerable to taking on the fear. There's enough fear being dished out from almost every word that proceeds from the mouth of almost everyone on the planet to cover all the furniture in the world with plastic. It has its greatest impact from those that are speaking to many through every form of media and every platform of social media. Even this small platform that we speak from has a power that exists within the platform, and we must be very careful not to deliver fear. Once again, take one step in any direction to your Creator and yourself as source. Once again, take one step in any direction outside of your physical reality into the world of your spirit, where your connection to your Creator and your self as source is as clear as a 5D television signal. And watch and feel as the door that is fear shuts behind you, and then look back and change everything with the wave of your hand or wink of your eye that you are being shown that fear is affecting. This is my world. my world without fear. You cannot live in my world, but you can live in your world without fear. Or you can live in your world with fear. It is yours to choose, and it has always been your world to create. The end of fear in your world is now clearly available to everyone. Let your smile reflect the arrival of this new awareness and this brand new way of being and living. Cheers, everyone, for now we can fly. Here we are, like mites on a plum. And this plum is a little planet that goes around this insignificant local star that we call the sun. And that star is in the obscure outskirts of an ordinary galaxy called the Milky Way, which contains 400 billion other stars. And this galaxy is just one of 100 billion galaxies that make up this universe. And this universe is one of an enormous number, maybe infinite number, of closed off universes. Now feel the immensity of the Creator, and then feel the immensity of you as an aspect of the Creator. And now you can become aware in a new way of the power that resides in you and the beauty and power that I see in you. Your problems and your fears are like mites on the back of mites, on the back of mites, on the back of mites to infinity. The you that I see has a part in the creation of all that I just read, and it is impossible for that one to ever be afraid or ever have any problems. Which aspect of you will you choose to identify with? And now we fly. Always look on the bright side of life. Smile and laugh. Go into the world of your Creator, where all balance and perfection exist. And say goodbye to all fear. And enjoy a perfect life, no matter what it looks like, with perfect health, no matter what it looks like, and a future filled with magic and miracles, no matter what it looks like. Thank you for joining me. I am David.